entrepreneur is one of the most difficult things that you can attempt. And inside of Titanium University, there's many examples of people that have come on to hard times. There's been setbacks, and they chose to not quit. See, the facts are you can only lose as an entrepreneur if you make the conscious decision to quit. But when you decide to battle through those tough times and overcome those struggles, that's where you can see massive breakthroughs. I had a one-on-one with Daniel this morning, who's been with us since the second class. So just a little bit over a year and a half since Titanium University started. And he shared with me how overcoming a struggle of losing $20,000 on a flip really has taken a toll on him, right? He's a bartender. He's trying to get into real estate investing, and his goal is to eventually move back to his home country of Colombia and run his wholesaling business from Colombia. But that setback has mentally taken a toll, the financial toll that it took on him. But he has dedicated himself to not quitting and continuing down the path. And I'm proud of him for that. Another good example of this is Garen Castle. Garen's been with us since the ninth class. He's a part of the Titanium Niners. And I have to say, Garen is one of those individuals that at the beginning I was a little bit nervous about because I saw all of the things that could potentially hold him back. He was in Oregon on the West Coast. He's a stay-at-home dad of 3 kids. And I love to have my implementation calls at 10 p.m. Central. That puts it at 8 p.m. his time, or 8 a.m. his time. And if you've ever been around 3 toddlers at 8 a.m., well, it's not the most calm and simple atmosphere to consume information and ask questions and get taught how to build a business. So I saw some of the things that were holding him back, right? Stay-at-home dad, 3 kids, being on the West Coast, previous experience of wholesaling inside just the state of Oregon, but now wanting to expand nationwide. There were things that were concerning. But what I've seen over the past year that Garen has been inside of TU has been consistent effort every single day, showing up to those implementation calls, carrying kids around, not caring, right? Unmuting himself, asking questions while the kids are screaming in the background. Hey, honey, hold on a second. Daddy's got to ask a question. And asking that question, getting the answers, and taking action, getting properties under contract. But I didn't know the full details until today when he shared this inside the group. Now, the backstory on this post is last night he posted a screenshot of the wire. $75,000 in his bank account. Woohoo! But all the post said was something about him, hey, shout out to G Castle or something like that. And I DM'd him and I said, hey, man, try again. He said, what do you mean? I said, I need you to try again because people need to hear the story behind your journey. It means something. It gives inspiration to those that are in similar situation as you are. They need that motivation to wake up day in and day out and make that decision to show up and not make that conscious decision to quit, because that's the only way that you'll lose. And so Garen came in with just a straight banger of a post today, breaking it down. So I'm going to read this to you guys and share Garen's story. Sum up of the last 2 weeks, but it took every shred of my being over the last 9 months to put myself in a position where I have everything I need. I get to do this. I'm not jumping on the phone from a place of need. Sending in comp reviews, watching the modules, asking questions, being part of implementation calls, trying and failing and trying again. We have everything we need to get it done here in-house, but you have to put in the work. This stuff has not been easy for me. I really have 3 kids. I'm an actual stay-at-home dad, full-on father, not baby daddy. Get that correct. But the foundation and discipline I've built through this is unmatched. My wife makes $46,000 a year, so it's not like I'm just chilling. An example of how hard it's been, I've made $9,000 all year. I'm $28,000 in debt as we speak. But with all of the content I've created, you wouldn't even know it because I had to let go of all of that and just push forward. I wasn't focused on the financial stress. Without that pressure, I've been able to get myself in the best physical shape I've ever been in and the best mental shape. Mainly just relaxing, not caring what others think, doing my thing, and knowing stuff really isn't that serious. Being honest with myself and doing what I need to do. The closing on the left for $5,000 has been in escrow all summer with a cloud on title. I came across that through a local realtor I met a while back. He was trying wholesaling through a PPC campaign and had a bunch of other stuff going on. Ironically, he was, quote, in over his head. I reached out seeing if he had anything. He sent this to me, so I ran Dispo TU style. He was pretty mind blown, and we split that 50-50. The closing on the right for $75,000, that same guy just wants to partner on all of his deals with me now. He pre-screened this for me. Like I said, he's a local realtor, and he's pretty good at it. I told him I needed motivation, so he sent me the contact information. I talked to the seller, and we hit it off, and I drove out there the next day. The seller really preferred not to sign anything over the internet, but he would have if I wanted him to. I got to his house, and everything was cool, but the sellers were secretly in disbelief about how young I looked. When I went out to do the walkthrough video for my content, they said they had Googled me. This goes back to an idea that formed through being actively part of TU. Back when Pat Hilton first dropped in, he said my name would be really easy to take over on Google. That's an example of me staying in my lane, doing my own thing, and not caring what anybody thinks. It's all been part of me being able to get it done. For this deal, the seller had been taking care of his mom for the last 6 years through COVID and everything. Her wish was to not be taken to a home, so he promised her and stuck it out. She died July 16th, and all of the trust paperwork was done a couple of weeks after I got this under contract on August 15th. The house was packed full of stuff, and he was cool with taking a lower offer if I took everything and could just leave in 1 month. So I was fast and convenient so he could get back to his home state of Texas after everything he had been through, and I made that happen. They're happy and back in Texas as of yesterday. I got my check, and the person who brought me this lead is getting $20,000, and he's ecstatic. We're going to crank up more of what we're already doing. My buyers are literally cleaning out the house, posting up on market, and they're going to make $100,000. There are a lot of these deals you guys are kicking around right now, but you're just not in the right mind frame. I truly believe if you put less pressure on yourselves, take the steps that Titanium has given you, learn the process, and then just get on the phone, not from a place of need, but from a place of you get to do this, we'll start seeing a lot more of these around the community. Hit me up. I'm here to help. #Conquered. TU's Niner Gang. The amount of pride that I have in that post, I cannot put into words. And I am so proud of Garen for not choosing to quit, because that's the only way that you can lose. He stared at adversity and financial distress and probably some pushback from his wife. I don't know that to be the case, but most times when there's that much debt and there's that low of income coming in as a family, there's probably a conversation about questioning the path that you're choosing as a family. And Garrett stuck to it, and he listened. And what I told him that I was most proud of were the subtle nuances inside of that post. The part about him listening during a Titanium University special call. It wasn't even an implementation call where I brought Pat Hilton in. And I said, talk to people about creating content. And since that moment, Garen has been out there posting content, reels, and talking about what he's doing, and seller calls. And because of that, this $75,000 deal was able to go through because the sellers were able to Google his name and see that he was legitimate and a real player in the industry. And so because of that, he was able to close the deal. The fact that he has showed up day in and day out and consistently worked despite the fact that the results weren't there. Garen has found a way as an entrepreneur to fall in love with the process and not the results. And because of that, I know without a shadow of a doubt that his success is going to be long term. This is the first of many deals that I see Garen closing like this, $75,000. So if you're struggling right now, my question to you is, how much would your life change if you were able to make $75,000? Are you willing to put in 8, 9 months of work without seeing that to achieve it? Because most people won't even go 7 to 8 days before they start questioning whether it works. This is a credit to Garen's mind frame and his entrepreneur spirit. That's why I know he was meant to do this. So ask yourself, are you in the right place? And do you have that mindset where you can grind away and eventually get to the point where you feel like, I get to do this. I don't need to do this. Show Garen and Daniel some love in the comments. Make sure you show me some love by liking today's video. We'll see you guys tomorrow.